that God offers all of us today. Have fun. We're going to go inside.
Okay, wow, this is cool. Look at here. Wow, sweet.
I know. All right, they're going to go to the side. Wait. We need pictures.
Japanese tea ceremony.
performed by our one parishioner, Chicago. She just recently came from Korea. And Chicago and I have been working together in the Episcopal Asian ministry for over 15 years. She just happened to came to San Diego. She visited our church. She was warmly welcomed by Father Munoz and Reverend Mokhtar and the rest, and she decided to stay here. Wonderful. Okay. So before they start, let me just first of all thank everyone for coming today. We have been praying for this because of the weather. Just a few words about the Episcopal Asian Ministry. My name is Han, and I am so blessed to have the blessing of our rector, Reverend Page. The Episcopal Asian Ministry is part of the ethnic ministry of our home church. Every year we gather to lift people up to lay and clergy for the Asian. We share our faith and we want to promote our tradition, the way we worship. So today what we are gathered is to honor our Asian tradition when we celebrate New Year. If you're looking around, there's a lot of area that, and later you can say that the first table we have 5 fruit. And the 5 fruit is, the reason why, because this name means something that we wish for the new year. This is, where is my piece? This one in Vietnamese means mang. Here comes the person who prepared. I want him to speak it. This is my nephew here. My nephew. And he in honor tradition. I think he's got kind of obligated to help. So he has been working a lot behind the scene, prepare some document for you to read, and also the fruit which he's about to explain it to you.
Good. It's an honor for me to be here to present to you our traditional way of celebrating New Year. So at the first table we have the 5 fruits. Each of the fruit has a special name. The first one, this is a cherimoya in English. In Vietnamese, it's called mang cao. Cherimoya. The name of the fruit, each names of the name of each fruit has a certain meaning. When we put together the name of the fruit, it becomes a sentence. The sentence means a prayer, a wish for what's going to come up for the next year. Okay, Gao means a wish. I wish for something. The next fruit we have is the coconut. In Vietnamese, the name is dừa, trái dừa. It means it's have enough to spend. The enough could be money, could be happiness, could be wealth. And then the next fruit we have here is the papaya. Papaya in Vietnamese name lũ. And mango. Mango is a great fruit. It's very delicious.
Love mango.
Yes. In Vietnamese it means xoài. Means for you to spend. Okay. So together all, and then I have an extra fruit. This is a pineapple. The pineapple is very is not part of the 5 fruits decoration, but because of the name of that particular fruit. In English, papaya in Vietnamese means thơm. Thơm means fragrant, something that smells good, something that will bring you a lot of good stuff. So we have it. So we also have it. We want to use it to decorate the new year. So the 5 fruit together, the name, if you put the name all together, it becomes a phrase, a prayer, a wish. So I wish the new year would bring me enough, quote unquote, to spend to last for the entire year. So what enough means, it could be in the form of wealth, happiness, or prosperity. It is a very traditional dish. It's a sticky rice dish. It's a sweet dish. What's special about this particular dish is that the color is red. And it's not food coloring. The color is extracted from a special fruit.
And this is in the garden of my niece and nephew, right here. And in Los Angeles, they brought it down, they make it, and they present it to you. What you see.
So this is very indeed a special treat, because this particular variety of the fruit comes from a vine, and it doesn't actually grow here in the States. So somehow we imported the seed and then we planted here, and you have right in front of you the fruit. It looks a little bit kind of, it had a thorny and a lot of thorns in the skin, but inside it has a lot of nuts, and it carries a lot of, we extract the color from the nuts of the fruit and give us a red color. So this is not, the color, the food coloring that you buy at Barnes and Noble. This is really special, and it was done in traditional way. We take the pulp from the nuts, and then we dilute it with water and cooking wine to create that red solution, red water, and then we use that to cook the rice. I forgot to mention about this particular special tree. During the Tet Festival or the New Year Festival, displays this particular tree. This is the yellow apricot. Unfortunately, the name is yellow apricot. It comes from a prunus family, but it doesn't grow here in the States. What's so special about this particular tree is that when it comes out of the dormancy, the tree is covered with the yellow flowers from top to bottom, just like cherry blossom. And the color, the yellow color, is very special. The color is a royal color. It represents nobility. It represents health and wealth, because gold is considered a yellow color. So that's why we display this particular tree during the first 7 days of the new year. So each of the household would go out and go to the nursery and pick the best tree, the best branches, so that when the first day of the year,
to share our faith, and we trust in God, and somehow we got you come in to share with us, and we have people that bring the lion dance. I would like to thank Dave Clemens for that. Exactly the way I asked God, is say, God, if you want me to do this door was open, is by Peter Anderson. Where's Peter? Peter sponsored the presentations of the fruit, the making of the soy gun, all of the display. So we thank you so much. And for the last section, because this is very special, I want to have you to have a lot of time. So the next demonstration is going to be very quick. And again, thank you, Reverend Martha. Reverend Martha just formed a new ministry in St. Peter called the Egg Roll Ministry. Catherine, she just say, oh, what it take to make, make egg roll? So I go, I said, oh, maybe so-and-so can make 500. Okay, I take care of it. So next thing, I spent 3 days with my friends at that table there, Ruth, Ellen, and my daughter come from Malaysia. For 3 days, we make over 400 egg rolls and a half.
Wow.
And I'm so and so you're going to be technical. I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is Reverend Mark are doing such a good job of selling. I don't have enough to deliver, but we can deliver in 2 weeks. Right? So, and all of the money would go toward the ministry to promote, all this, diversity, honor traditions, building community, and evangelism. So we like to thank you, but again, I couldn't thank Paige enough for this. And at this time, I would like to bring my team. Without them, we could have answered, and then the lunch would come, and I promise you, it's gonna be wonderful. Okay? Linda Thompson, Sandy,
She in the kitchen?
Paige,
Wow.
Paige, you, and Martha, Dave, come up here, please. Rob, yes. Rob, Sandy, to acknowledge all of these people who work very hard. And this is a lot last night, a lot later. We do, and it works. So thank you so much. Okay? With that, I'm going to move to the Jackson for just a few minutes, and then the entire thing will be for you. Okay? I goes before, and you come for that. So you want to learn, so this is a perfect opportunity for you. Okay? So first of all of the egg rolls are made from a few ingredients. They're basically just a 5 ingredients with meat.
Wow.
Okay?
That's okay.
Yep. Yes, you guys okay. So, sorry, let me just, okay. All right. The dry mushroom, carrot, onion, and a very special taro. This recipe comes from the South. So because the South have this. So can you see, I have to soak all of this, okay? And
This is great, it's like a cooking show, and here's the finished
yes,
product.
this is the finished product, okay? So we have to do, a lot of my friends say, why do you put it in the machine and round it up? I say, no, because the way you shred it, when it mixes together in the mood, and cook it, it has different flavor. So it takes, I have to peel this. So it takes a long time, peel and grate all of this. And the meat, I always buy you with sea salt. And I have to buy a whole new jar of pepper from Malaysia because it's good. Because when you first crown, it releases not only the fragrance but the oil. And this is the machine, the one I use. Can you bring it up? Okay. So inside, you would see, and you can smell it.
Smell it, Pax.
Yeah. It's passing around. It's stuff. Yes, sneaks, okay?
Yeah, you need the oil.
But why we use that? Because this is going to be the first thing that goes into the meat.
No, it's
You want the meat have the flavor because sometimes meats, well, so you want the flavor of the pepper. I use a little bit of garlic from Trader Joe. And the next things I just gotta put, so we have the meat first, the season, then you have to kneel together real well, so they mix together. The next, you gotta mix all this together. And they have to be sit overnight. So all of the flavor going through, so you can see the process. It's very tedious, like somebody said. So now when you're ready you ready? Okay. So when we do this,
No, please, that's okay.
so when we You want to see which one will be good. We got Magic, you're the district manager of Panera, and Reverend Martha, you see which one the roll look good. Okay, so we're going to do this, and I'm going to have to just have to chill this. I know that this. You have to chill this because this is what is crispy. So you put this against this, like this.
Tear it in quarters.
Quarter. Now, you put a piece, you're going to use, yeah, mix it.
Double up.
I have no, the egg right here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So here, share with my coworker here.
Okay.
Take this here.
Now, you kind of fold it,
Right.
you kind of make it
Make it like a
a
little ball.
little, and then you this section fold it over, this little one right there.
Oh, right. This is what makes them pretty. This is why Hans egg rolls are so pretty.
Okay.
Because it has a little interior.
Okay. So now, after you do that, then you fold this one over. And you fold it, you have to kind of pull it and sort it, okay? And then fold the other side over.
Oh, right. So they're nice and tight,
Yep. Okay.
like a diaper.
All right. And you did like at the edge.
So you take a little bit of
Yeah. And after you finish, you're gonna go like that. Do that. Roll it down.
Egg roll, you have to roll.
Okay, it's on you now. And we see which one. It's gotta be look good. Anybody take a picture?
Coaching like you. Wow.
Okay.
here.
They're demonstrating.
Okay. All right, we'll see what it is.
398 to go.
Okay. All right. Good. And then we have to fry them in about 12 minutes. All of this up, what you eat is have been made early this week. We freeze them so when you buy it, when you get home, you just turn the oven to 400 degrees, put it in for 22 minutes, turn halfway, and 25 minutes, you have egg roll to eat. Everybody eats this egg roll before? Yeah, raise your hand, the people over there. Okay, all right.
So if you want to buy egg rolls, since I am an egg roll chairwoman here, a dozen for $15 and 2 dozen for $27. They freeze up to 4 months in your freezer. And all you supper club folks, if you need an appetizer, all you need are Hans egg rolls. So yeah, so we'll take orders and we'll just keep the ministry going.
Yes.
Healthy, delicious egg rolls.
Thank you. Thank you. So we be quiet, please. We began the ceremony, this festival with a lot of noise and loud DJs to spin away to repeat St. Peter. The last presentation we have is a spiritual one, so it's required that everybody quiet. This tea ceremony, which is going to be explained by Nancy Anderson, she would explain why we need to be quiet, because this is a very special presentation, and I am so honored and thankful for my friend Chicago, and she would present the tradition
Turn the
Japanese tea
sternos off.
ceremony.
The rice is
All
too
these
hot. It's
things
drying
we did.
out.
This is the
Do you have
miracle.
all the many blessings that exist in our lives. May we attain all of our goals. May we keep walking even in the face of storms, stopping gathering courage to walk again. May the sunshine always shine bright upon us. May rain drench us with love and wisdom. May we be successful in all that we endeavor this year, safely, with prosperity, secure from all evils. And may the blessings of this year be with you as we celebrate this new year. Amen.
Amen.
That was a traditional Chinese blessing.
Before we begin, I'd like to point out just a couple things to you. As you bring, Chicago, as you bring in the various elements, or maybe you could just hold them up so that I can show you. First of all, the most important element of the tea ceremony is the matcha, or the powdered green tea. She'll do the cleansing in just a moment, but there is a wooden spoon that's used for the tea, called a chasha. And then the bowl, which I don't know if you can hold up the bowl, the chawan, the tea bowl, or the teacup. The wooden label is a hishaka. Chicago is really an expert in this. I am a teacher at Ikebana. I did not study the tea ceremony. And then the cup is called a chawan. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. So at the beginning, I'm going to tell you just a little bit of a little history here. The guests are given a treat, and the treat is always offered as a way, something to make them feel comfortable, and to have that to sort of prepare themselves for the tea, rather than coming in and perhaps you're hungry. And so this is to make the guests feel comfortable, but it's an important part of the tea ceremony. Often the sweet is eaten while the host is cleaning all of the instruments. And all this is very important. So while she's gathering that together, let me tell you just a little bit about the history or the tradition of Chanoyu. Chanoyu is it means the way of the tea. The culture of Chanoyu is quite unique. For a while after the custom of drinking tea had been transmitted to Japan from China, most of the culture came in about the 800-900s from China, and then disseminated to Japan, on to Korea, and then there was a lot of mixing in Southern Asia, in Vietnam, and anyway, you'll see a lot of this in a lot of the art forms, and then they fed one another. So the people just enjoyed the taste of the tea then. But in due time, the utensils for drinking tea, the way of preparing the tea, and a place for drinking it were specially created, and this was a prototype for today's Chanoyu. As for the thinking behind Chanoyu, the medieval aesthetic of wabi, or taste of the simple and quiet, produced wabi-style tea. Chanoyu is said to be a traditional culture, but at the time that it appeared, it was something completely new that could even be called revolutionary. For example, chashitsu, or the tea room, a type of architecture which had not previously existed in Japan, was created, as well as the chawan, or tea bowl, the kama, the kettle, the hana-ire, the flower container. And you see all of these elements on the table. These were especially made for Chanoyu, not for any other common purpose. This makes one wonder at the original chaijin, or tea devotees, in the earlier years, they believed in simplicity, and yet this ceremony in its elegance and simplicity is incredibly complex, and you'll find that in the way of the kimono and dressing kimono. You will find it in ikebana and all the different schools of ikebana that do things precisely differently. But the skill in ikebana, as in the tea ceremony, as in all the kimono, your skills help you to tweak things, and that's where the elegance and the real joy of these skills begin. Okay, at this point, Chikako, should I just, you want me to go ahead and read the first parts? The steps in the tea ceremony. The Japanese tea ceremony may seem a bit complex to understand with so many existing types, tools, and special vocabulary. But in fact, the tea ceremony involves the practical and aesthetical matcha preparation, matcha, the powdered tea, and the attempt to connect with the guest. It's very important. Any host knows that. And sometimes it also helps you to connect with a higher spiritual level, and we're going to talk more about that. The first step, the host prepares for the ceremony. Preparation for the tea ceremony sometimes starts weeks earlier, before the actual day in which the ceremony takes place. The host needs to send formal invitations to their guests and to prepare their soul for the ceremony by leaving behind all worldly thoughts and just focusing on obtaining a certain harmony and equilibrium with himself or herself. Does that sound like prayer and meditation? Do we do that before a service? The practical preparation starts with choosing the right tools, depending on the season and the part of the day the ceremony will take place. The host goes on by cleaning the tea room or the garden if it's in summertime, and the tools, and changing the tatami, or the Japanese mats that are traditionally on the floor. If the ceremony will involve a meal, then the host needs to start preparing very early in the morning. The guests prepare for the ceremony as well. Guests also need to prepare spiritually for the ceremony before actually participating. They need to purify their hearts and thoughts and leave the worldly worries behind. Before entering the tea room or garden where the ceremony will take place, the guests have to wait for a signal from the host, which will announce them to the host as ready to receive them. They also need to wash their hands in an attempt to symbolically get rid of the dust from the outside world. After the host gives them the signal, they will enter the tea room through a small door, which obliges them to bow as a sign of respect to the host and to the preparations she has made. At this point, Chikako has been cleaning her tools. The actual preparation of matcha doesn't start until the host brings in the tools, cleans them in front of the guests before using them. The cleaning of the tools is aesthetically done with concentration and highly graceful movements. Very, very important. These movements can differ from one type of ceremony to another, but what is always important in all Japanese tea ceremonies is the graceful posture of the host and aesthetic value of the way things are done during the ceremony. No unnecessary movements or words are allowed during the ceremony, and all things start with the tools and end with the guest's behavior. Ending with the guest's behavior have to be in harmony with each other. And as she cleans the tools, the guests are to admire, not just the tea itself, but the whole process of what she's doing and the quality of the implements, all of this. The guests, there's some choreography to that. After the tools are perfectly clean and aesthetically displayed, the preparation of matcha begins. Usually the host adds into the tea bowl 3 scoops of matcha per guest. After adding the powder, the hot water is also added to the bowl and the composition turns to a thick paste, and then more water is added afterwards. Now, you saw Chicago whisk it. Can you hold up the whisk and show them? This is a beautiful instrument, and you must come and see it. It is carved out of one piece of bamboo. It's absolutely magnificent. And you must have this to do the whisking. I mean, you know, it would be good for cappuccino as well. All right, so now at this point, she is serving the matcha. The host presents the prepared tea bowl to the main guest, and they exchange bowls. For the first guest admires the bowl, then rotates it before she drinks. She holds the book. Can you show them how you hold the bowl? Can you show them how one holds the bowl? The left hand holds it underneath. The right hand then will rotate the bowl. She wipes it and then rotates the bowl clockwise 3 times for a complete circle. Then she hands it to the guest who admires the beauty of these bowls, and these were a wedding present and they're a work of art. And thank you for reminding me. Then they bow when she gives them the tea. They admire the bowl, they drink the tea, they turn the bowl, they hold it the same way, but turn it clockwise. And after they have wiped the edge, and the face goes to the guest. And so she receives it clockwise and bows. So it's all very ritualized. But as you can see, as a Eucharistic minister, there's a lot of similarity here. All right, now she's going to do the cleaning part. After all the guests have taken a drink of tea, the host cleans the bowl. The host will also rinse and clean the tea whisk and the scoop again. The guests need to inspect the tools used in the ceremony after they have been cleaned as a sign of respect and admiration for the host. They carefully and respectfully examine the utensils using a cloth when handling them with extreme caution. After this phase is over, the host gathers the tools and the guests exit with another bow to complete the ceremony. This is the chalice cleaning part. And let me add a little side segue to this. Chicago has generously offered, after the meal or if 1 or 2 or 3 come up, she would perform tea for you and make a cup for you. So remember how you need to receive it. Okay. Can I share a bit about the Eucharist? Okay. I wanted to share with you a wonderful story that really shows how similar in a culture that where Confucianism, Buddhism, Zennism, I'm missing a couple, Taoism, and another one, Shintoism. All of these religions or philosophies are part of the culture, and yet there's this strong current that runs through this that is the Eucharist. And I'd like to read, I've probably skipped part of this, but I think it's quite interesting. To properly appreciate this story of how this all evolved, we must know that among the Japanese, tea is practically a sacrament. They don't just drink it, they have an entire ritual and philosophy, chanmula. dedicated to the consumption and appreciation. The way, Chanyua means the way of tea. Perhaps better than anyone, the Japanese understand its paradox. Unlike other drinks and meals they share, tea is humble, yet so extremely gratifying. One of the most beautiful descriptions of tea in the culture was produced in the Historia, written by a Jesuit priest and missionary, Rodriguez, who loved tea and wrote quite a bit about it. He and his Jesuit companions soon recognized that it was a deeply beautiful part of their culture that Japanese converts could wholeheartedly enjoy because it promoted rather than compromised their beliefs. Rodriguez waxed eloquent on the social, spiritual, and health benefits, noting that it improved digestion and opened up one's mind to higher things. What would that be? It encouraged quiet meditation, rustic simplicity, aesthetic judgment, appreciation of nature, and the significance of the present moment. It also necessitated courtesy, good breeding, moderation in action, and purity of spirit. The woman symbolically washes her hands in the basin. You could come upon a tea ceremony being offered in a simple tea house. You could see the events and the silhouettes of the rice paper walls. Because the actions were so similar, he was not able to distinguish it from the consecration of the Mass. During the Christian persecution of Japan that followed, Masses were secretly offered in tea houses, partly because of this. The Catholic faith in Japan survived underground for the next 200 years. In the quintessentially Japanese stone lanterns that are the focal point of many gardens, some of them have figures of the Virgin Mary and the Greek monogram IHS carved into the base part that is not visible because it is buried. Many of those are grave markers that are hidden Christian graves in Japan. To this day, around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, tea preserves the sanity of beleaguered human beings all over the world who eagerly await quiet civility. But it is a far greater achievement was the preservation of Catholicism in Japan during the 200 years of persecution. So, if you love tea, raise your cup to honor St. Francis Xavier and his brave Jesuits who gave the Mass to Asia and the tea to the rest of the world. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Chicago again for research, for offering her tea ceremony. She just came back last night, very late, from school that she studied to be priest, and she not master. So she came back late, but then she had to wear, it took a long time to wear her kimono and wear her hair. And Nancy has spent a lot of time research, practice to present this. So I would like to thank all of you, especially our special guest, Estella, with beautiful kimono, and Father Munoz in his black kimono. Thank you so much, appreciate it. Now is the time to serve lunch. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna pick a table, and then you all go in there so it can make it easy. You don't have to wait. And my niece and her husband Long, where is she? She has, they raised, this is a plant from their garden.
What table did you pick to come first? Okay, come on in, and as she's explaining it.
Okay, please. The host have to pick, if you miss this table, there's a flower to signal the food for the servant and the own time to be served. She picked up the flower, and now the food can be served.